Here's the thing about your movie, why I made a curator's pick of the Hollywood Fringe Festival. Community, hard,
This is Like It Is Radio, Black Intelligent Talk Radio.
But as you know, we have a guest in here for governor in 2018. There are two African Americans running. Both of them have been here, and this is what we do at 88. So we're going to hear from Mr. David Jones, who's been running this campaign, and we just haven't heard enough about him, and we got the outreach and the opportunity. As I said, I heard you call in on the breakdown. Unfortunately, I wasn't here, and there's the thing about talking about wellness. I talk about my own. When you get old, things happen. I tripped on it's worse when you trip on your own property. You know what I mean? On your own, you can't even just try to play it off and hope the neighbors didn't see it. But I said, let me get up. I'm all right. And someone said, no, your ankle is jacked, old man. And it was a normal twist. I was watching the NBA. I seen him step up. Man, I sat down. My foot blew up. Poof. I couldn't even get up. But, that's the ticket, man, when you get old. Because that was a regular twist. No, not over 50. That's a twist of life. So you got to get yourself checked out. But I'm going to tell you, I've been down for a minute, but my ankle's a little better now. But I just twisted my ankle, and I'm old, and I appreciate the fact that I was able to be home and to hear you and then get you on the phone because of what was provided to me. But thank you so much, Mr. Jones. Tell us about your candidacy and why we don't know more about you.
Well, first off, thank you, Franklyn G, for having me on your show and being able to give your listeners the opportunity to hear the real, true, progressive, bipartisan candidate running for governor. The reason you haven't heard from me is because I'm breaking the mold. I have not taken any type of campaign contributions from any corporations, special interest groups, or individuals. I feel that's not the correct way to talk about being a public servant. If I went and I applied for a job for the state of Nevada, I don't have the right to come and ask you, hey, bro, I need you to give me money so I can possibly get a job. That's not right. And that's part of the problem with politics today. This is why we're in the situation we are. When you've been socially, culturally conditioned to believe that you can compete with what I like to call this ultra super wealth now. If you think you can compete with the Sheldon Adelsons, if you think you can compete with the GEs, if you think you can compete with the IBMs and Bears and Stearns and Goldman and Sachs and the rest of what I like to call, as they call themselves, the masters of mankind, and you're a hardworking individual human being, you can't compete with that. So now we've been culturally conditioned to what? PR, engineered, marketed elections. As we've seen elections, the prices are just skyrocketing for elections. And what are you getting in return for it? Who do you think is the winners? And the voters need to understand they've been hoodwinked, as Malcolm said. They've been bamboozled. They've been conned. And unfortunately, when I used to produce television shows in Kalamazoo, Michigan, I had the great honor to sit down and interview Tony Brown. And
some people now know who Tony Brown is. So.
Tony Brown is one of the first African-American journalists to have his own television show. Mm-hmm. He did
Tony Brown's Journal.
Right. Back in 1993, 95, he wrote a very highly rated book called Black Lives, White Lives, The Survival for America. And he was telling us what we see to happening today. He told us these things were coming. It's not about a black thing or a white thing. It's about the haves and the have-nots. Who has now benefited the most? The haves. We're seeing unheard of wealth, while yet the hard-working human being is being manipulated, being distracted, given things that are being told, I should say, they need stuff they don't need anymore. And that's what you're getting with Steve Sislyak. This is what you're getting with Chris. This is what you would get with Dan Swartz. This is what you got to get with Adam Laxalt. See, they're all part of this. See, it's real easy to go up on a human being and talk about, oh, I understand your plight when you haven't walked in their moccasins, because they'll never walk in it. Never. See, Steve is a multimillionaire, which a lot of times people he doesn't even like to say, well, oh, that's right. I took $25 million out of Clark County coffer in a lawsuit. See, so I took hardworking Nevadans' money in Clark County, and this is how I got my wealth. Even though I was born into wealth, I was very surprised on Wednesday when I asked him, well, Steve, what are you going to do? Steve has not came with any of the issues. I'm talking about issues and how we solve them. I've only made one promise, and one promise only, that I'm making to all Nevadans. I don't care about race, creed, color, gender, sexual orientation, any of that. Religion, I don't care. Because if you're a hardworking human being and you are seeing that you are now being priced out of health care, you're being priced out of homes, you're being priced out of even services and goods, but yet you're paying taxes, but you're not getting anything. You're not getting nothing. So when we look at this, Brother Franklyn, this is all by design. This is totally by design. I'm the only candidate that was blackballed after the Red Rock Democratic town hall meeting.
Well, since you elaborated, what happened there?
Well, once I had a chance to introduce myself and speak, I told them, look, I had the 2015 to 2017 state budget. And I told them I studied this by line item for almost a month. Threw it on the table and told them this is a piece of you know what. Because everybody's a crook. Everybody is a crook. But don't you want to know who the biggest crooks are?
Yes.
You know, it came down to this. So what I told them was this. I'm going to take an adage or a saying from Donald Trump. I'm going to drain the swamp for real. But in order to drain the swamp, first off, I need to know how wide it is. Second off, I need to know how deep it is. Third, I need to know what's been dumped in it. Fourth, I need to know who's been dumping in it. Fifth, how long they've been dumping in it. And the most important thing of all, who gave the order for the dumping to begin.
Okay,
so that means coming to a state audit. I'm talking about as governor. And I need you, brothers, sisters, and I'm talking to all my brothers and sisters Nevadans. I am the only candidate that is going to do the right thing. I am going to automatically sign an executive order for a competitive bid with international reputable auditing firms to come in and audit every state department and every state-funded program. Let's find out. Let's shake the tree. We may not like what falls out of that tree, but at least we can see it and we can deal with it. Because one thing about human beings, when it's put in front of them, there's no denying it. They can't get past it. They know it's about the survival of humanity. They will bond together. They will look beyond color. They'll look beyond race.
Well, okay, hold on. Let me just interject a few questions here. Appreciate your platform. We have the pleasure of talking with Mr. David Jones, who's also running for governor. So if you want to get in the phone line, 702-647-3688. I know you know the number. He has several associates in the office here, so you may have heard a few words. We'll introduce them in a minute. But we're talking with Mr. Jones. Have you ever held public office before?
No, and that's the difference. Because, see...
Well, explain that difference, because some people would say that may expose a lack of experience.
No. Experience in what? Being a liar? Being a cheat, being a con artist, being a manipulator. Experience? Is that the type of experience? Because that's what you get with today's politician. I'm not a career politician. I don't plan on being a career politician. All I want to do is monitor the office of the people. Because that is the office of the people.
Okay, so you're talking about those reports and things that you're talking about, especially going out of state. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure that there's enough reputable people within the state that probably you could go through a vetting process to find out, just to keep the money all within state. And additionally, those programs will be costing money, taxpayer monies, to do those reviews. So how would you address that, since there seems to be a shortfall of education money, the only people getting money is the police? How would you address it? We have to raise taxes to do different things. We got a brand new stadium coming in. We got this, we got that. So those things you're talking about are just going to cost money.
First off, the audit will pay for itself. Once you find the corruption, once you find the skullduggery, the thieves, like I said, everybody's a crook. If you're going to sit up here and think you're going to trust the numbers that you're getting from a crook who's cooking the books, no. That's why I say we get outside, see a true progressive. You think outside of the box. I don't want anyone that has any political connections to Nevada. I don't want anyone that has any type of anything to do with Nevada. I want a international, reputable auditing firm to do the audit so it can be made with full transparency to all of the taxpayers of Nevada, so there ain't gonna be none of this. Well, you know, he picked up so-and-so and they're in the state, but they also are hanging out with the MGM. They're also with so-and-so. They're also with this. No. We want to make sure that through that vetting process of that third-party auditing firm, they're coming in here so there's not going to be any question when the numbers come out. Like I said, you're not going to find out anything till you shake the tree. It's like if I ask you a question, Brother Franklyn G. If I ask you, can you see the sun? And you say, yeah, but I'm looking at you and you got your head stuck in the ground. It's buried in the sand. Don't tell me you can see the sun. See, and that's what we've been doing here. See, when we look at education, since you brought that up, I'm the only candidate talking about, because as Chief Executive Officer, and since Clark County School District is receiving taxpayers' dollars, they're going to be part of that audit. Now, when Slislak was put that, no, I can't make Clark County School District. They have to do that. No, you're talking as a county commissioner, but you are now the chief executive officer of this corporation now, because this is a corporation. It's incorporated. The state of Nevada is a corporation. Clark County comes as a political subdivision of that corporation. So let's not get things twisted when Steve, Chris, Dan, and all them tell you these lies. They're lying to you, my brothers and sisters Nevadans. They're straight up lying. So, 188 million, and prior to that, now don't think this train wreck happened overnight with Clark County School District. Now, Sandoval's got to take the blame for some of this too, because he saw this train wreck coming, and he did nothing. Nothing. Did he decide to say, these trains, both of these trains are coming at each other at 250 miles an hour, even though they may be 1,000 miles apart? This wreck is going to happen if we don't change the course or the track.
So would you be in favor of policing or actually administrating better school district appointees coming out of your office as opposed to the current election system that's in place?
Mine, because the only way that it can be done right now, the only thing is the office of the people now has to take control of what's going on here.
But the people don't come out. I mean, we just saw a city council race where the person who's in control of this direction of, not just saying that one out, but we're looking at the same election here. The numbers are way down, bro.
Yeah, but see, that's because they treat voters like consumers, which they are in a way. As long as you can keep a human being ill-informed and you're able to give them a distraction, that's like Steve, Chris, all of them. Sporting events are distractions. And when we look at the history of sporting, even going back into the motherland of Upper Egypt and Lower Egypt, going into Ethiopia back in the day.
Watch out now.
You know, there were the games, no different than the Greeks and the Romans. The games. The games were designed to make the masses forget their problems. Like Steve, he couldn't even answer when I asked him, so you're telling me the Golden Knights, when you were supposed to came here last week and came to especially the African American community and took their questions, you went to a hockey game. How proud was he? Yes, I did. He was so proud about it. Well, Steve, what was the benefit to the community by you going? How did the community benefit? He goes off because, see, he's caught off script now. And this is why they didn't want to debate David Jones. And they still scared of David Jones to have debated me. Because questions like these coming out. How did it benefit the poor, the homeless, the disenfranchised.
Well, all of our listeners ain't poor disenfranchised or anything like that to imply Power 88 doesn't care about them. But at the same time, I recognize your position that perhaps it would have been equally important to get more votes to come to this station than to go to the Knights game, which they ultimately lost. But he came back. That's all I'm saying.
Well, even though he came back, it was the way that when I listened to the host and the hostess and them interviewing him, and I'm sort of bamboozled and I was like shocked. They're protecting and playing this man up like he's the best thing, but that goes back to a social, culturally conditioned people. See, when you're looking for a white savior, but your white savior is a multimillionaire already, he's never gonna feel your pain, even though he'll sit up here and laugh. Now, he laughed that day about, I grew up in a wealthy family, and, I'm that white privilege. Yeah, I'll never know what it means to be stopped by the police. And they laughing with him, and I'm like, I would have burnt him on my show back in Kalamazoo, Michigan for even pulling that stunt.
Well, not to be besmirched the good nature of the other hosts that were trying to just dialogue with them. We do appreciate the effort they put forward.
Right, I do.
Everybody recognizes where they got to be, so I'm sorry I didn't make that show. The questions you're laying now are valid because it's all about the election and perceptions.
Right.
So without any further ado, because people are on the phone lines, they want to get with you, at you. We're about to open it up. So 702-647-3688. And for those people, if I could just elaborate, Mr. Sisolak did have an agreement or an appointment with us we made, and unfortunately what we were talking about, he went to a game, and that's what Mr. Jones was referring to. These are factual statements. But he did come back, and he bought catfish, I guess, because I wasn't here. But, I'll leave that one alone. I know Ms. Mosley writes articles about our catfish and doing it in elections, but we're going to have a catfish fry in any event. So in any event, 702-647-3688. Good morning. Welcome to the Like It Is Radio Nation. Tell me you got me locked on Facebook. You're a constituent. You're already listening.
Yes, I have you locked in, and I am a constituent, and I'm so happy that you were on assignment. That way you didn't have to lick them boots Wednesday. Because somebody didn't get that record. I don't want nobody to give me nothing. Just open up the door. I'll get it myself. That's James Brown, ladies and gentlemen, Augusta, Georgia.
Yes, sir.
But here's my problem. Here's my problem with the Sisolak interview, and I'm not just not going to talk about that. Mr. Jones, how are you today?
Doing fine. How are you, sir?
But, Mr. Jones, you talk about culturally conditioned, right?
Yes.
So we've been culturally conditioned to think that white is superior and black is inferior, correct? We got that.
No, I'm not saying that, my brother. Excuse me.
Okay, but hold on. Let me finish my point, Mr. Jones. How is it possible in the born state of Nevada we can have two black candidates that comes in that want to run for governor, don't have any money, and you think the gaming and mining industry is going to let you govern that? I mean, this is just ridiculous. It's no way in fact. It's no way in history. Plymouth Rock did what? It landed on us. We didn't land on Plymouth Rock. But how in the world do you expect the gaming and the mining industry to support you as governor? That won't happen, sir.
Well, first off, my brother, thank you for your question, and let me enlighten you. I ain't asking them. Because, see, there's a thing called solidarity. See, solidarity is the bedrock of democracy. Radical, as they would like to call me, radical. No, all great individuals started with one individual, one thought, one thing of change. See, now you are the one talking that have been conditioned to believe it can't happen. Because I don't care if you're black or white. If you setting up in here and you're wondering how you're going to feed your children, that doesn't know race, and it doesn't know creed, and it doesn't know color. If you're the one setting up in here and you're wondering how you're going to pay your mortgage, see, you got one powerful thing, and that's that vote. So what should have been done is instead of sitting up here worrying about what the casinos and what the mining industry is going to do, you need to be worrying about how do we get this change to happen. Let us talk
and I know
about
how
MLK.
to do that.
Wait a minute, let me finish. When we talk about MLK, we know the majority of African American churches did not even let MLK speak. We know they didn't even allow Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, Philip H. Randolph. We know that these things, but these were men. We look at Sister Family Lou Hamer. We look at what they did. See, it came from one, my brother. So all I need you to do on Tuesday is go and vote for me. So don't set up and worry about me not having the type of money that Steve or what the casinos have given him or really in his campaign, all of these real estate developers. Don't worry about that. You push the lever for David E. Jones. You can flip the script. Everyone in Nevada, if you're poor, you can change this and get this up out of there. Get a human being in there that understands where you're coming from and is going to monitor the office to make sure your tax dollars go where they're supposed to go. And if you got a state legislator who's doing wrong, I'm calling them out right up front. See, that's why I can't be bargained with, I can't be bought, and I can't be reasoned with when logic and fact is in front of me. I know a scumbag when they come in front of me.
Well, we try to keep the airways kind of clean, Governor. You know, so.
Well, and see, Mr. Jones, and see, that's the very reason why I can't support your candidacy. First of all, you're not using the King philosophy effectively. You're not using that, and so you don't talk reparations. You don't have a vehicle that will propel you to the next level, and that's a problem.
Well,
you cannot continue to go in a direction that's not going to be fruitful.
Well,
and I'm hearing it this morning.
First off, my brother, excuse me. First off, do you know that Martin Luther King was talking about social economic change? That's why one of the main reasons he was taken out, because of the disenfranchised young whites that was coming with him. He also had all of, like he said, when you start to question why there are 40 million poor and the social disparity of wealth and distribution of wealth in this country, now you can start to address issues. So if you don't support me, that's your right, my brother. See, as governor, I'm a constitutional. I'm going to support your right for your right to do of your free will that God, Allah, Jehovah, whatever name you profess by your lips to call him, you do that.
Well, we got a few more callers in there. We got to move it to the next one. I appreciate your dialogue. Good morning. How you doing? Welcome to the Like It Is Radio Nation. Tell me you got me locked in on Facebook. You're a constituent. You're already listening.
I'm already listening. Hello?
Yes, please turn your radio down.
Yes. How you doing, brother? Jones?
Hey, how you doing, brother Henry?
All right. Franklyn, how you doing, brother?
Keeping it going, man. Keeping it going.
That's right. Well, Brother Jones, to you, I take my hat off to you, brother, because I know where your heart at and I know what you mean. And I like to say to you, just keep up the good work, bro. I'm glad you went out and running for governor. And one day, we both going to make a change. And one day, the Review Journal, News 3, News 13, News 5, News 8 will recognize there was 2 more black governors in these races. And I like to say, keep up the good work, brother, and keep your head up high. Talk to you later.
Thank you.
Well, you see, that's history right there. We just had a gubernatorial debate. That was the melanin gubernatorial debate right there. Yeah. So that's what Power 88's about, being connected to the community. My brother keeps speaking. Who are you, man? They want to know who you are.
My name is Aaron Harris. I run a company called Referral Advertising Marketing LLC. Real A-Rad Money is my DBA. I'm born and raised right here. My maternal grandmother got here in 1939. My grandfather, Cha-Cha, Charlie Harris, got here in 41. And my dad was a very influential person on the West, built Nucleus Plaza. And I'm just here supporting my brother 100. I have over 107 ex-felons hired to my company that has not returned back to prison. I do everything, basically what they call underground. I'm born and raised in North Las Vegas, born in the house, took to the hospital. And I support my brother 100 because he represents the rights of human beings. He represents the unalienable rights our Heavenly Father gave us. It's not about corporations. I have a daughter right now that's struggling in school. And on our research, because I researched with him, I see it's over $188 million missing out of the education. I attempted to walk into her school and just be in her classroom. Me, growing up, I was a class clown. The teachers called my mother up and then I stopped being a class clown. So I wanted to participate more in my daughter's classroom and they wouldn't even allow that. So something's going on. I can see it. Like I said, I've been here since 1971 from my birth. And I see the changes going on in the city that I was born into. And David Jones definitely is making a difference.
All right. I just want y'all to know there's other folk up in the studio. Y'all hearing everything. They're like, what did he say? Who said? Yeah. No, he has his team in here, and it's good to see you got a team.
Yeah.
Well, like what Hen was saying, the larger media overlooking your candidacy, and even as that, let's go a little bit more succinct because I try to bring it home. What about the black people who run the things around here? You hear from anybody? Any words of encouragement? Any outreach to you?
Well, that's the thing that hurt. The African American churches, which is very influential, the NAACP, the black fraternities, black sororities, I reached out to all of them. None of them, but I can understand why they didn't. Because see, when you've been socially, culturally conditioned to believe nothing can get done unless a white man does it. See, and like right now with the black churches, they didn't even allow us to speak. I couldn't even go and speak to their congregation. But they let Chris and Steve come in there. And I'm like, if I went to their congregation and I pulled 10 of their members and said, tell me 5 positive things that either one of those 2 candidates have done that have had a long-lasting effect for the good of the community, please tell me. And I guarantee you, out of that, they couldn't tell me. You know what number? He bringing the Raiders. Well, duh, he's bringing a sports team that you're going to have to save 1 or 2 months of pay to be able to get 4 tickets to even go to the game. See, no one's called Steve to the carpet. That's why I've been blackballed. He keeps throwing this number out. 45,000 jobs created and $463 million is coming to the state of Nevada in income. Well, first off, no one's checked him on it. See, I can throw a number out there, but when I tell you, give me the reference for your number. Show me the socioeconomic spreadsheet on that. Show me how those jobs are created, where those jobs are, how many are unskilled, how many are skilled, how many are professional. Mm-hmm. Okay? Tell me the numbers on that and bring that back where you got those numbers from. See, he's just throwing that bull crap out there to the voters to make them think, look at me, I bought a professional football team. And real quick, Brother Franklin, now rumor has it, I'm just saying it's rumor, but the Las Vegas Journal, the Sun, all of them blackballing, the only 2 black candidates running for governor, nobody contacted us, no interviews,
I contacted both of y'all.
Right.
All right now.
Okay.
Because black media does exist when I try to sit here.
Okay, and I thank you for that. I really do, because why do you think when they go to my website and they see my website, where I stand on gun control, where I stand on education, where I stand on health care, where I stand on family court.
I tell you what, I hear my reggae music coming. Saying we at the end of the broadcast. Tell them how they can reach you. I apologize. I know we got people on the phone lines. I know they want to get it. We'll try to figure it out. Hopefully we can get through this primary thing. But how can people reach you? Because that reggae music means it's coming. And let y'all know, this weekend, Reggae in the Desert, coming to town, Third World. Cully Buds. That's all I'm going to say. Y'all need to come out and do the reggae thing. Sit with your brother. Let's have fun. It's Saturday at the Carr County Amphitheater Library Theater. One more. No, we ain't got no time. Hold on. Hold on, man. I'm running this show here, brothers. Brothers, just pointing. All right. I want you to get your information out so people who heard this passionate delivery, they can contact you, and that is the most important thing. You got fans, because they're on the phone. But I want them to know how they can get at you, because it's not fair to cut them off. But at the same time, it's not fair to let them get in here. I'd rather you get your information out to them. Y'all want to talk to them? Here's how.
Here, just go. You can Google David Jones for Governor Nevada, and it brings you right to my home page of my website. There you can contact me through djonesforgovernor Nevada 2018 at gmail.com. And the website is the same call letters but.com.
And you got to, if you want, because some old folks, they want to just call you. There's a number we can call you.
Yeah, they can contact.
Slowly.
Okay, 775-482-1885. Once again.
One more time.
That is 7.
Hold on. You'll be a staff's correcting you. What's the number, brother? 70. Hold on, turn his mic up. We'll say it tight. Don't worry, we got time. That's why it's important.
702-409-8428.
Say it slowly, brother.
702-409-8428. You want to talk to Governor Jones? Call that number. We ready.
Oh, man, he wanted a radio voice on. He went, I'll be sure on us. But this is how we do. We talked about your inner soul. We talked about your calling. We talked about your vote. It's important that you support Power 88. A big shout out to the Buffalo Soldiers. Yes, Buffalo Soldiers came on the air a little while ago, came and made their donation. I thank you so much for what you've done in our community as an ex-military man. Yeah, I was a Marine. I'll let you know. We got to support the black officers. We got to support the black enlisted because there's still racism in the service. Our Buffalo Soldiers are our majestic history of how we conquered the West. So come out tomorrow, Reggae in the Desert. Come see Third World, Cully Buds. All them Jamaicans going to be out there. It's going to be a beautiful day. And remember, vote, y'all. Vote. And if you're from Chicago, vote twice. I know that's how y'all do it out there. Vote and then vote again. But the bottom line is respect your vote. Participate. Get out there. We do appreciate you. And yes, today history was made. The first 2 black gubernatorial candidates. Only one station, only one time, only one place. Power 88, y'all.
This is Like It Is Radio, Black Intelligent Talk Radio.